Eva had never imagined that the past she had tried to bury in the deepest corner of her soul would one day be dragged into the dazzling light of Fairmont Crest, a place where everything seemed luxurious and perfect enough to conceal every sin. She once believed that as long as she was clever enough, cold enough, and precise enough in every decision, everything she had done would dissolve into the opulence of this community, fading into indistinct fragments no one could ever trace. But the moment Izaiah stepped into the room, carrying not anger but a chilling calmness more dangerous than any rage, Eva knew the thing she feared most had finally arrived. That calmness was not forgiveness nor indifference, it was the unmistakable sign of someone who held absolute control. It made her breath quicken, her heartbeat crash violently against her chest, even as she struggled to maintain the composed facade that had long served as her mask. When Izaiah placed that object on the table, the faint sound it made seemed insignificant, yet it thundered inside Eva's mind like a hammer striking the last door protecting her safety. She stared at it, her entire body going numb, her fingers curling involuntarily, nails pressing into her palms until they flushed red. That fragment of memory, something she believed had been destroyed completely with money, power, and a level of ruthlessness that even she feared, was suddenly right there, small but powerful enough to shatter everything. She had always believed nothing could escape her control. She had believed she deserved the life of luxury she built, and that no one had the right to drag her back into the hell she came from. Yet the man standing in front of her now held the key to everything she had sworn to bury forever. Eva's panic did not stem from guilt, it came from despair. Because she knew Izaiah knew everything. The man she had betrayed, the night she traded something irreversible for her freedom, and the child she had promised herself she would never allow anyone to know existed. The feeling of being exposed did not just make her tremble, it made her feel as though the layers of protection she had built meticulously over the years were cracking apart. Eva realized that no matter how hard she tried to become someone else, no matter how elegantly she dressed herself in the refinement, allure, and influence that Fairmont Crest admired, her past had been waiting for the perfect moment to rise and drag her back to the truth she had always denied. The greatest pain for Eva was not the fear of exposure. It was the realization that she no longer controlled her own narrative. Izaiah could do anything he wanted. Destroy her, hand the secret to someone who would ignite the biggest scandal in Fairmont Crest's history, or worse, force her to pay a price she could not foresee. Eva could see her entire life spiraling downward, her career, her reputation, the relationships she had carefully curated, even the marriage she once believed was a stable shield. Everything took shape in her mind like shards of glass falling in slow motion, each reflecting another path to ruin. Her thoughts raced through the faces that would be pulled into the fallout if this secret exploded. Danny, forever trying to escape her mother's shadow; Ted, a man whose ambition could turn any secret into a weapon; Kat, sensitive to every abnormality and capable of turning the smallest crack into a disaster; and most dangerous of all, Anita, a woman whose sharp gaze could pierce through every persona Eva had ever crafted since the day she first arrived at Fairmont Crest. If even one of them learned the truth, the world Eva had built so carefully would not stand a chance. But what terrified Eva the most was not any of those faces. It was the shadow of the man from her past, the one she thought she had erased from her life. A Dupree? A politician? Or someone so dangerous that if the truth about him surfaced, all of Fairmont Crest would be dragged into a vortex no one could control? Each possibility made Eva's breath heavier, because she knew better than anyone how destructive that name could be. If that fragment of memory were decoded, it would not be only her who fell. Anyone connected to the child she swore to protect at all costs would be pulled down as well. The child. Eva could not bring herself to think the name, but the image grew sharper with every frantic beat of her heart. Was that child living in Fairmont Crest right now, wearing an innocent face that had no idea their existence could ignite a firestorm that would consume a powerful family? Was the child tied to the so-called Renewal Project, a group that cloaked itself in philanthropy but hid intentions only insiders understood? Or worse, was the child actually a Dupree, turning everything into an irreversible tragedy? So why did Eva react with desperate tears instead of fighting back as she always had? Because this secret was not tied only to humiliation or betrayal, it touched the edge of a life and death truth. A death she had tried to forget, a death that had never truly left her. If Izaiah knew that, if he connected the dots she had spent years severing, the situation would escalate beyond scandal and plunge directly into a darkness where law, morality, and humanity no longer held meaning. In the suffocating silence, Eva realized something terrifying. Izaiah had not come to confront her. He had come to corner her. To place her in a position where every possible move meant loss. And that terrifying calmness was proof he had already mapped out the path ahead. He could reveal the secret to Ted to turn it into leverage. He could bring it to Danny to destroy the fragile bond between mother and daughter. Or he could deliver it to Anita, the one person with enough power to erase Eva from Fairmont Crest without lifting a finger. As that thought pierced through her, Eva felt the room closing in. The luxurious space of Fairmont Crest suddenly seemed suffocating, as if it wanted to crush the last breath out of her. And for the first time in years, Eva no longer felt like the one controlling the game. She felt like prey cornered, exposed, judged by the only person capable of dismantling every illusion she had ever created. Yet in the darkness of fear, a sharper question rose. Cold, precise, like a blade pressed against her spine, was Eva's secret only the tip of the iceberg? Because from the way Izaiah looked at her, from the quiet certainty radiating from him, Eva sensed he held more than one secret. Perhaps he had gathered multiple fragments, each one connecting into a far darker truth than she had ever dared consider. Was Fairmont Crest the place everyone believed to be perfect, hiding something even more terrifying than her past? And Izaiah? Had he stumbled onto something he wasn't prepared for, a larger, darker conspiracy that could swallow both of them whole? Or was this only the beginning? Thank you all for your loyal support.